Hello and welcome to Let's Play Scorpion Swamp by Steve Jackson. There's the front cover. Very nice. A thrilling fantasy adventure in which you are the hero. Okay, this is book number 8 in the Fighting Fantasy series. Okay, let's read the synopsis. Part story, part game. This is a book in which you become the hero. You're no fool. All your life you've heard tales of Scorpion Swamp and how it is crisscrossed with treacherous paths leading to the haunts of its disgusting denizens. One step out of place spells a certain and lingering death. But now the swamp holds out the lure of treasure and glory, and you cannot resist the challenge. 2 dice, a pencil, and an eraser are all you need to make your journey. You decide which way to go, which dangers to risk, and which monsters to fight. Fighting Fantasy Books, a worldwide sensation. Cover and illustrations by Duncan Smith. Okay, so there's the front cover again, very nice. Okay, there's an adventure sheet from the Warlock of Firetop Mountain for some reason, no idea why. Maybe they just added that in there because the book whence this PDF came had the adventure sheet torn out or something. I don't know. Okay, Scorpion Swamp. It's difficult to read. It's a little bit pixelated. Hardy adventurer that you are, you have never been known to quail at a little danger, but you're no fool. You've always been far too wise to risk entering the dreaded Scorpion Swamp, infamous for the tangle of treacherous paths which crisscross its slimy depths. Now, the creatures that live in Scorpion Swamp have given rise to the most nightmarish legends, but now Scorpion Swamp holds out the lure of treasure and glory, and the choice of serving 3 wizards, each with a mission. You cannot resist the challenge. 2 dice, a pencil, and an eraser are all you need to embark on this thrilling adventure of sword and sorcery, complete with its elaborate combat system and a score sheet on which to record your gains and losses. Many dangers lie ahead, and your success is by no means certain. Powerful adversaries are ranged against you, and often your only choice is to kill or be killed. Okay, Scorpion Swamp by Steve Jackson, illustrated by Duncan Smith. And there's a list of books. So we've done books 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're now doing 8. We've done 10 and 11, but I haven't done 9 yet either, so that will be the one after this one, I imagine. Looks like the owner of the book, from which, or rather whence, this PDF came, was using this as a sort of checklist. So he'd done them up to Seas of Blood. Don't think I've read that one, actually. Okay. And the dreaded Steve Jackson Sorcery. Extremely difficult books they are. I think they're 600 paragraphs long each. Ugh. Anyway. I actually have Out of the Pit Fighting Fantasy Monsters. It's not that interesting, actually. It's sort of like a glossary or a dictionary sort of thing. It's not as interesting as what you think it is, unfortunately. I haven't done Fighting Fantasy the role-playing game, but I'm not really interested in RPGs, and I mean sort of real RPGs, the board game variety, not the video game variety. I discussed that on my Heroes of the Lance video, I think. Anyway, dedicated to my mother, my first writing coach, and still the best, with thanks to the playtesters Alan Varney, Monica Stevens, C. Mara Lee, Gerald Swick, and Jerry Self. Okay, let's go. How to fight the creatures of Scorpion Swamp. And yes, we are going to go through this again. Feel free to skip this if you can't be bothered to hear this again. Before embarking on your adventure, you must first determine your own strengths and weaknesses. You have in your possession a sword and a chainmail shirt, as well as a few pieces of gold for incidental expenses. Okay, so sword and chainmail shirt, let's write that down. So equipment. Sword, chainmail shirt. And he hasn't specified how much gold we have. You have been preparing for your quest by training yourself in swordplay and exercising vigorously to build up your stamina. To see how effective your preparations have been, you must use the dice to determine your initial skill and stamina scores. On pages 24 to 5 there is an adventure sheet on which you may use to record the details of an adventure. On it you will find boxes for recording your skill and stamina scores. You are advised either to record your scores on the adventure sheet in pencil or make photocopies of the page to use in future adventures, or of course use the old text file. Skill, stamina and luck. Roll 1 die, add 6 to this number and enter this total in the skill box on the adventure sheet. Okay, so here we go, the old dice program. Hello, old friend. Right, roll 1 die. Yeah, go on then. Okay, so we've got a 4. That's the lowest I would have accepted. So add 6 to that, and that's our skill. So that's 10. Okay, next. Roll both dice, add 12 to the number rolled, and enter this total in the stamina box. Okay, roll both dice. Ha! No. Nope, 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 nope. There we go. Thank you. Okay, so we've got a 12. I would have accepted 9 or more. Yeah, so 12, add 12 is 24, so we get maximum stamina. There we go. If you don't like me cheating, then there's not much more I can say about that, really. I mean, I either put up with it or don't watch. Okay, there is also a luck box. Roll 1 die, add 6 to this number, and enter this total in the luck box. Okay, roll 1 die. Yeah, go on then. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, 5 plus 6 is 11, so luck is 11. That's our initial luck score. Don't think we have magic in this one, although we might do, I don't know, can't remember. For reasons that will be explained below, skill, stamina and luck scores change constantly during an adventure. You must keep an accurate record of these scores, and for this reason you are advised either to write small in the boxes or to keep an eraser handy. But never rub out your initial scores, although you may be awarded additional skill, stamina and luck points. These totals may never exceed your initial scores. Your skill score reflects your swordsmanship and general fighting expertise, the higher the better. Your stamina score reflects your general constitution, your will to survive, your determination and overall fitness. The higher your stamina score, the longer you will be able to survive. Your luck score indicates how naturally lucky a person you are. Luck and magic are facts of life in the fantasy kingdom you are about to explore. Battles. You will often come across pages in the book which instruct you to fight a creature of some sort. An option to flee may be given, but if not, or if you choose to attack the creature anyway, you must resolve the battle as described below. First record the creature's skill and the stamina scores in the first vacant monster encounter box on your adventure sheet. The scores for each creature are given in the book each time you have an encounter. The sequence of combat is then, or thus, I should say, or they should say. Roll both dice once for the creature, add its skill score. This totals the creature's attack strength. Roll both dice once for yourself, add the number rolled to your current skill score. This total is your attack strength. If your attack strength is higher than that of the creature, you have wounded it. Proceed to step 4. If the creature's attack strength is higher than yours, it has wounded you. Proceed to step 5. If both attack strength totals are the same, you have avoided each other's blows. Start the next attack round from step 1 above. 4. You have wounded the creature, so subtract 2 points from its stamina score. You may use your luck here to do additional damage. See over. The creature has wounded you, so subtract 2 points from your own stamina score. Again, you may use luck at this stage. See over. Make the appropriate adjustments to either the creature's or your own stamina scores and your luck score if you use luck. See over. Begin the next attack round by returning to your current skill score and repeating steps 1 to 6. This sequence continues until the stamina score of either you or the creature you are fighting has been reduced to 0. Death. Escaping. On some pages you may be given the option of running away from a battle should things be going badly for you. However, if you do run away, the creature automatically gets in 1 wound on you, subtract 2 stamina points as you flee. Such is the price of cowardice. We've been to that before. It's not necessarily cowardice, you know. If you're nearly dead, it's not cowardice to run away, it's wise. Anyway, note that you may use luck on this wound in the normal way, see below. You may only escape if the option is specifically given to you on the page. If you escape, do not discard the records for the monsters you were fighting. Should you return to that clearing, it is possible that your foes will still be there, and you may have to take up the combat where you left off. Fighting more than one creature. If you come across more than one creature in a particular encounter, the instructions on that page will tell you how to handle the battle. Sometimes you will treat them as a single monster, sometimes you will fight each one in turn. Luck. At various times during your adventure, either in battles or when you come across situations in which you could either be lucky or unlucky, details of these are given on the pages themselves, you may call on your luck to make the outcome more favourable. But beware, using luck is a risky business, and if you're unlucky, the results could be disastrous. The procedure for using your luck is as follows. Roll 2 dice. If the number rolled is equal to or less than your current luck score, you have been lucky and the result will go in your favour. If the number rolled is higher than your current luck score, you have been unlucky and you will be penalised. This procedure is known as testing your luck. Each time you test your luck, you must subtract 1 point from your current luck score. Thus, you will soon realise that the more you rely on your luck, the more risky this will become. Using luck in battles. On certain pages of the book, you'll be told to test your luck and will be told the consequences of your being lucky or unlucky. However, in battles you always have the option of using your luck either to inflict a more serious wound on a creature you have just wounded, or to minimise the effects of a wound a creature has just inflicted on you. If you have just wounded a creature, you may test your luck as described above. If you are lucky, you have inflicted a severe wound and may subtract an extra 2 points from the creature's stamina score. However, if you are unlucky, the wound was a mere graze and you must restore 1 point to the creature's stamina, i.e. instead of scoring the normal 2 points of damage, you have now scored only 1. If the creature has just wounded you, you may test your luck to try to minimise the wound. If you are lucky, you have managed to avoid the full damage of the blow. Restore 1 point of stamina, i.e. instead of doing 2 points of damage, it has done only 1. If you are unlucky, you have taken a more serious blow. Subtract 1 extra stamina point. Remember that you must subtract 1 point from your luck score each time you test your luck. Restoring skill, stamina and luck. Skill. Your skill score will not change much during your adventure. Occasionally a page may give instructions to increase or decrease your skill score. A magic weapon may increase your skill, but remember that only one weapon can be used at a time. You cannot claim 2 skill bonuses for carrying 2 magic swords. Your skill score can never exceed its initial value. A skill spell, see later, will restore lost skill points. Stamina and provisions. Your stamina score will change a lot during your adventure as you fight monsters and undertake arduous tasks. As you near your goal, your stamina level may be dangerously low and battles may be particularly risky, so be careful. Remember also that your stamina score may never exceed its initial value. A stamina spell, see later, will restore lost stamina points. Luck. Additions to your luck score are awarded through the adventure when you have been particularly lucky. Details are given in the pages of this book. Remember that, as with skill and stamina, your luck score may never exceed its initial value. A luck spell, see later, will restore lost luck points. Equipment. You will start your adventure with a bare minimum of equipment. You may find or buy other items during your travels. You are armed with a sword and are dressed in chainmail. You have a backpack to hold any treasures you may come across. I've already written those down. You will play a fighter in Scorpion Swamp. However, you will almost certainly find yourself given the power to cast magical spells before the adventure is over. If you deal with a wizard, he may give you spell gems. Each gem gives its owner the power to cast one spell 1 time, then the gem vanishes. There are 12 different magic spells that you may be able to use. They are described below. When you acquire a spell gem, mark it on your adventure sheet. If you have the chance to choose which spells you get, you may choose any kind of spell more than once. For instance, you could choose 4 fire spells if you wanted to. Once a spell is used, though, you must mark it off on your adventure sheet. If you use 4 fire spells, you can cast fire. If you choose 4 fire spells, you can cast fire 4 times, but no more, unless you meet another helpful wizard later and acquire more spell gems. Magic spells are divided into 3 types: good, evil, and neutral. Anyone may use neutral spells. However, good wizards may not cast evil spells, and vice versa. You may use any spell that you can get, but you will not be able to get good spells from an evil wizard, or evil spells from a good wizard. Neutral spell. Skill. When you cast this spell on yourself, it restores lost skill points equal to half your initial skill score, rounded up. It cannot raise your skill score past its initial level. Stamina. When you cast a spell on yourself, it restores lost stamina points equal to half your initial stamina score, rounded up. It cannot raise your stamina score past its initial level. Luck. When you cast this spell on yourself, it restores lost luck points equal to half your initial luck score, rounded up. It cannot raise your luck score past its initial level. Fire. This spell will set one medium-sized object like a torch on fire. The more inflammable the object, the better the spell will work. Ice. This spell works by freezing water or water vapor into ice. It works best where there is water already present to be frozen. Illusion. This spell will let you create one small, short-lived illusion. If you act in a way contrary to the illusion will cease to fool anyone else and will be dispelled. Good spells. Friendship. This spell will make one creature better disposed towards you, but it will not work on anyone or anything that cannot understand the idea of friendship. Growth. This spell will accelerate the growth of one large plant or several smaller ones. It will not affect anything but plants. Bless. This spell may only be cast on another being. You cannot bless yourself. It restores lost skill, luck, and stamina points to the creature that you bless. 3 points are added to each, but in no case may the spell increase anyone's points past their initial level. Evil spells. Fear. This spell will make one creature fear you, provided that it is a creature capable of feeling fear. Withering. This spell will cause one large plant or several small ones to wither. It will not affect anything but plants. Curse. This is a very powerful spell and not to be used lightly. When you cast a curse, you immediately roll 1 die and lose that many stamina points. However, something terrible, there is no telling what, will immediately befall your enemy too. When to cast spells. You may cast one of your skill, stamina, or luck spells upon yourself at any time except during combat. You may cast a spell on yourself just before a battle starts, but once the first blow has been struck, you may not use magic until the fight is over. Other spells may only be cast when a paragraph specifically gives you the option of doing so. Mapping. As you play, you will travel along the network of pathways that make up Scorpion Swamp. You will want to draw a map as you go. Unlike most adventures, Scorpion Swamp allows you to retrace your steps. A good map may spell the difference between life and death. Most of your adventures will take place in clearings within the swamp. Each clearing has a number to aid you in mapping. Each clearing connects to one or more paths leading out. Paths may lead to the north, south, east, or west. A path may bend about, but it will always keep the same general direction. This is important. It means that if you leave one clearing by the southern path, you will enter the next clearing from the north, and vice versa. This will keep you from doubling back accidentally. When you reach a clearing, make a note of the direction in which you are travelling. It might be useful later. In some of the clearings you will meet people and creatures. Some of them can help you, others will attack you or hinder you in some way. It is up to you to decide how to handle each encounter. It may happen that in your wanderings you may return to the same clearing again. In that case you may find instructions in italic type. These instructions tell you what to do if you have already visited that clearing. If there are no special instructions, you will proceed in the usual way each time you come to that clearing. Here is a map of an imaginary part of the swamp to give you some help in making your own maps. As you can see, this player has marked the number of each clearing and made notes about what he found there. He has also indicated the paths out of each clearing, so if he returns later he will know in advance in which direction he will be able to travel. Hints on play. There are 3 possible quests in Scorpion Swamp. For each of the quests there is one true path that is the best to follow. Make notes and keep your map faithfully. It may save your life, and, in any event, it will be invaluable in future adventures, enabling you to progress rapidly through to unexplored sections. Not all clearings contain treasure. Some merely contain traps and creatures of which you will no doubt fall foul. Many wrong turnings are possible, and even if you reach your ultimate destination, you may not find for what you are searching. It will be realized that entries make no sense if read in numerical order. It is essential that you read only the entries you are instructed to read. The one true way on each quest involves a minimum of risk, and any player, no matter how weak on initial dice rolls, should be able to get through fairly easily once the best path has been discovered. May the luck of the gods go with you on the adventure ahead. Just need to see something quickly. I see. Oh, there's another adventure sheet. What's the point of the other one there? Oh, someone's actually written on this one. They never learn, do they? Okay, So here's the background. Hardy adventurer that you are, you have never been known to quail at a little danger, but you're no fool. You've always been far too wise to venture into Scorpion Swamp. All your life you've heard tales of that awful marsh and its disgusting denizens, but the real danger of the swamp, so the tales go, is not the creatures that inhabit it, nor even the magicians and wicked men who haunt its paths. No, the reason that so few return from Scorpion Swamp is very simple. The swamp is crisscrossed by numerous trails that twist and turn in all directions. No one has ever mapped them and lived to tell the tale. An evil fog hides the sky, so no one can set a course by the stars. Once you're well into the swamp, even compasses are unreliable. They may point north, west, or south by southeast, leading you around in circles until you drop from exhaustion. So you've stayed well away from the swamplands, but although you don't know it yet, something is about to happen to change your fortunes. As you walk along the King's Highway, you come upon an old woman crumpled in the dust. You carry her into the shade and give her a drink from your water skin. She soon revives, but you walk with her to the next town just to make sure that she will be all right. You take your leave of her in the town marketplace. Bless you for your kindness, she says, when you part. Wear this with my good wishes, and may you never lose your way. With that she gives you a plain-looking brass ring. When you slip it on your finger, smiling your thanks, it feels loose. An hour later, as you walk down the highway again, you realize that it has altered its shape to fit you perfectly. You have a magic ring. As you travel, you learn more about the brass ring's powers. The old woman must have been a powerful witch, and she meant her blessing seriously. While you are wearing the brass ring, you will always know which way is north, even in the deepest forest or in the twistiest town street. Is that a word, twistiest? You will never be lost. Furthermore, the brass ring grows warm on your finger in the presence of evil, even when you are greeted in a friendly fashion. You spend a week with the forest bandits, rough men but honest in their way, and the ring is cool, but in the caverns it warns you of evil magic and of foul undead. And in the towns you find that no clever thief or lying merchant can fool you. The old woman's gift is valuable indeed to an adventurer like you. Now you feel as though you ought to put the brass ring to some use worthy of its magic. Exploring Scorpion Swamp with its unmapped maze of trails might be the perfect task, and it might be profitable too. So with your mind set on glory and treasure, you set off towards the bogs and fens of Scorpion Swamp. And 22 minutes in, we finally make a start. Magic brass ring. There we go. Now turn over. Okay. The path that you must travel is a long one, for Scorpion Swamp lies to the far west of the kingdom. As you travel, you have many experiences that a less seasoned traveller would call adventures. To you, fighting orcs and goblins, defying evil wizards, and slaying giant wolves are all in a day's work. As you travel farther west, the mountains around you turn to hills, the hills to plains, and the plains to damp lowlands. You know that Scorpion Swamp cannot be far away. When you enter the little town of Fenmarg, whatever, no one finds you remarkable. Many travellers pass through here. Your sturdy helmet and sharp sword indicate you are a fighter, not to be trifled with. But this is not uncommon. But when, sitting in the local tavern, you announce your plan to explore the swamp, the listeners are dumbfounded. They cluster around you, pushing back the battered benches to make room. The swamp, they tell you, holds the bones of many such as you. Not only is it trackless and infested with vermin, monsters and starving bandits, but a group of wizards calling themselves the Masters have recently claimed Scorpion Swamp for their own. One of them, a big burly man escorted by 2 great grey wolves, visited this very tavern last week. He didn't say much, they tell you, but he didn't seem the sort to welcome trespassers on his property. And there's the inn. As the conversation continues, you realize that the villagers are sure you will die in the swamp. We can't let you go, they say. One even makes so bold as to put his calloused hand on your shoulder to restrain you as you start to walk out the door. Will you challenge them for their impertinence, turn to 48, or politely explain that you are determined, turn to 95? Okay. We are going to politely explain that we are determined, and turn to 95. The villagers shake their heads as you turn towards the door, but make no further attempts to dissuade you. But before you reach the door, a villager blocks your path. He is a short, middle-aged fellow with a black beard cut square across the bottom. At first you take him for a farmer, but he seems more interested in you than any farmer should be. He takes your arm and leads you to a table in the corner of the tavern. The others have gone back to their chatting, and you find yourself willing to hear what this quiet man will say to you. He introduces himself as Gronar. If you really intend to brave the terrors of the swamp, he says, you ought to have some purpose rather than random mapping and beast slaying. If you agree with him, turn to 240. If you disagree, turn to 122. Okay, we agree with him, so turn to 240. You agree with Gronar. Your journey would be much more interesting if you had a mission to accomplish as well. He nods. There are 3 men in this village now, he tells you, who cannot go into the swamp themselves, but each one has need of a strong fighter willing to venture there. The first of the 3 is an old wizard devoted to the cause of good. He stops to quaff a long draught from his mug. If you want to hear him out, turn to 205. If you want to interrupt him to say that you will serve only good, turn to 155. We're going to interrupt him to say that we will serve only good. Turn to 155. You sound sincere. Gronar nods and smiles broadly. There are those in the world, he says, who seem rough or simple, but always fight for the right. The good Celator is one, and you, Paladin, are another, though you have much to learn. Somehow Gronar seems to be much larger now. Is that a cross embroidered on his robes? And where did that sword come from? You start to speak, to ask him who he is, but he reaches across the table and touches your brow. You feel dizzy. Bless you, young Paladin. Seek ye Celator. Then he is gone. You could not tell whether he walked out of the door or simply vanished, but the dizziness passes quickly, and you feel very good indeed. Raise your initial luck score by 2, turn to 235. Well, it said we couldn't raise our luck past the initial value, but nevertheless I will anyway, so we're up to 13 now. Does that mean I can put my luck up to 2? Yeah, this is only my initial luck. My luck is still currently at 11, so I better put it over here. There we go. So my luck is currently at 11. My luck is currently at 11, but my initial is now at 13. Anyway, turn to 335. Ducking under a heavy cast iron lantern, you leave the tavern. The light is unexpectedly bright outside, and you blink for a moment in the glare. You start off down the road, but realize you don't know where you are going. Hailing an old man who is leaning out of the window. It really annoys me when people don't include the of when they say out. It's out of the window, not out the window. Out of the window. Leaning out of the window of his shop. You ask where you might find the good wizard Celator. The shopkeeper is suspicious at first, but soon warms to you and gives you directions. Soon you are lost again, but a ruddy-cheeked woman sets you right. It seems that everyone knows where Celator lives. Eventually, you come to a small house on the edge of the village. Celator, a small, stout man in a white tunic and linen breeches, is pottering in his garden as you come up the path. You tell your story. He smiles and asks how you think you can get through the uncharted swamp. If you tell him about your ring, turn to 371. If you'd rather keep it a secret, turn to 96. Doesn't really say. My notes don't really say what to do in this instance, so I'm going to tell him because he seems nice, doesn't he? Let's have a look at him. There he is. Okay, 371. He nods. Yes, you are the one for whom I have been waiting. You can do what must be done. He smiles at you, and you feel very proud indeed. I will tell you about the quest. Once upon a time, there grew a plant called Antherica. It had many healing properties and was of great value to the makers of white magic, but it was of no value in evil spells, and so the forces of evil set out to destroy the plants everywhere. It was thought that they had succeeded, but through my studies and my crystal ball, I have learned that a single plant of Antherica survives, deep in Scorpion Swamp. It is a small dark green bush with sweet-smelling white flowers and purple berries. If you can bring me back just one of those berries, through my magic I can cause the Antherica to bloom again for white magicians everywhere. There is plenty of treasure to be found in the swamp, the little wizard goes on, and you may keep all you win. All I need is a single berry of Antherica, but although a fighter like you is well fitted to survive in a swamp, there are magic forces there. Creaky chair there. Fitted. There are magic forces there against which a sword is of little use. I cannot teach you magic, but I can do the next best thing. I can give you 6 magic gems. Each of these will contain 1 magic spell, but when you have used them all, you must rely on your keen sword and your sharp wits. You discuss with Celator which spells you should choose. You may pick 6 spells from the magic spells listed at the front of the book, but only from the lists of neutral and good spells. You may not pick any evil spells. Write down your chosen spells on your adventure sheet. Okay, 371. Okay. Actually, I don't need to, because I don't need to do that yet. I can just pick them out here. Okay, so we're going to choose 2 fires, an ice, a friendship, bless, and luck. So, magic here. So, fire times 2, ice, friendship, bless, and luck. That's 6, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. With the spell gems tucked safely in your pouch, you say farewell to Celator and strike off towards the swamp. Although your trip will be dangerous, you are buoyed up by the old wizard's wisdom and kindness. Your quest is this. Find an Antherica berry and bring it back to Celator. Turn to 9 and begin your adventure. Okay, first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to cast a luck spell, so we're going to use that now. So I'll just put used here. And that will put our luck back to 30, or up to 13. And then let's go to 9. Before we go to 9, I'm just going to check the spells thing. Okay, let's go to 9. You are on the southern edge of Scorpion Swamp. Thanks to the brass ring, you will always know which way is north, but you must still make a map. You decide to map each path you follow and each clearing you enter, so that you will know which way to go if you return to a clearing. For hints on mapping, see page 21. You quickly find a path leading north into the swamp. A huge sign, crudely painted on a boulder, reads, "Stop, Scorpion Swamp, turn back." A skull and crossbones completes the grisly picture. Bravely, you stride past the warning and enter the swamp. You can see that it would be foolish to step off the path into the muck, so you follow the trail where it leads. Turn to 195. You are in clearing 1. Actually, this is no more than a wide spot where 3 trails meet. The ground is very shaky and wet, and huge insects flit over the pools of water that dot the ground. If you want to step carefully across to another trail, turn to 58. If you'd rather just jump over the soft part, turn to 91. We're going to jump over the soft part and turn to 91. Roll 2 dice. If the result is equal to or less than your stamina, you made the jump. Otherwise, you fell short, caught your leg in the mire, and twisted your arm slightly when you landed. Subtract 1 point from your skill. Okay, so we need to roll 2 dice. Yeah, we easily did it. You may now leave the clearing. Will you travel west? Turn to 398. East, turn to 105. Or south, turn to 208. And we will decide what to do in the next video. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.